So, back in the day, me and my brother, who's 2.5, 3 years older than me, we never really got along, right? Never really got along growing up. Always hated each other. So he moved out whenever I was a freshman in high school. It was like one of the greatest days, one of the happiest days of my life.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Fuck this guy, get out of my house.
Seriously, like I hate saying that though, because I wish that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
But it really was one of the happiest days of my life because like I was like, man, I don't have to get picked on anymore. You know, like I don't have to deal with this bullshit. So, but anyway, so he moved down the boonies, met this girl. We'll call her Maggie. Let's say her name's Maggie, right?
Okay.
So, met this girl named Maggie when they were 16 years old. Hit it off. We're together for 7, 8 years, right? Then my brother found out he was having a kid with her. Okay?
After 7 or 8 years?
Yeah.
Oh,
After 7 or 8 years. They weren't married at the
they were
time.
just together. Okay.
Yeah, they were just together for 7 or 8 years,
Okay,
right?
Gotcha.
So they're, 24 at this point?
All right. Youngins.
Yeah. 24, 25, so we're around there, right? So she has the kid. My brother proposes to her. We have this big destination wedding. We go out to Destin, Florida, have this big wedding on the beach or whatnot.
Holy shit.
The kid that has been born by this point, right? So he's 1 year old. He doesn't really understand what's going on at the wedding. He's just like wanting to play with his toys and shit or whatever. So
I don't do weddings. Good.
we'll call him K-Dog. Is the kid anyway. So Maggie, the wife, she grew up in a town with maybe 2,000 people in it, something like that, real small town, right?
Grew up in a small town.
And her parents have made a little bit of money for being in a small town anyway, right?
Okay.
So Maggie refuses to move away from this town of 2,000 people. So my brother and Maggie end up buying this house that if you look out their back window, you can see her parents' house.
Okay.
That close to each other, right?
Right. Okay.
Okay. My brother hated this.
Yeah, not cool.
Brother could not stand it.
Right by the in-laws.
Yeah, exactly. And then being in a small town, my brother grew up in the city, right?
Yeah.
But he married this girl. He loves her, loves this kid that he's had with her. He's like, whatever, I'll do whatever you need me to do, right? It's not to say I'm not trying to excuse my brother for anything because my brother has had a temper problem, but his temper has never gotten out of whack to where he's like full on hit somebody. You know, he's never been to jail. He's never been convicted of assault. Like he's not a violent person. He never beat anybody. You know.
Yeah.
So, but when he loses his temper, he likes to yell and curse and things like that. You know. And he's 6'5", 225 pounds. He's a little scary when he gets mad, right?
Sure.
But so where was I? So they got this house or whatever. They decided they wanted something bigger, right? So they decided to move. They end up moving 2 blocks away. They're not right next to their parents' house, but they're down the street, probably 5, 6 houses.
Jesus.
Still down from the in-laws, right? And so eventually my brother and Maggie just kind of grew apart. And my brother was staying out later, playing video games and kind of not necessarily paying attention or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, one day one day Maggie's friend knew they were having problems or whatever, and my brother shows up on my doorstep one night with all of his stuff at my doorstep in my apartment. And I open the door, and look, I mean, me and my brother don't have a great relationship at this point, right? So he's like, yeah, I need to stay here for a while with all his bags packed. And I wasn't going to shut him out, obviously. So like, all right, you can come stay on the couch or whatever. So he told me that him and Megan are probably, or him and Maggie, was slip the name there. Him and Maggie were probably going to get a divorce, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once all this happened, one of Maggie's friends found out that they were having troubles or whatever. And she told my brother that Maggie had cheated on my brother, right?
Okay.
So
Who told him that?
one of Maggie's close friends
Okay.
told my brother this.
Gotcha.
So then they're trying to figure out when this happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it happened around the time that K-Dog, the kid, was born. So I think you can see where I'm going with this.
Sure. So
my brother decided to get a paternity test. Turns out the kid's not my brother's.
That's so insane, dude.
He found out 3 years after K-Dog was born.
It's insane.
So 3 years my brother has been this kid's father. And now all of a sudden you get told that you're not the kid's biological father, like you're not his father, like, and not to mention that Maggie both cheated on my brother and never even once mentioned that it could be possible.
So your brother was totally blindsided.
Yeah.
Just never in his mind.
Right.
Even though they'd grown apart and all that.
Right.
Never in his mind.
So they get divorced or whatever, and then they kind of go off and on for, I mean, this goes on for years.
Sure.
This goes on for about 3 years that they're off and on and trying to work it out
God.
all this shit, right? And so we're still seeing K-Dog and everything. He comes over for Christmas and Thanksgiving and whatnot. So then my brother and Maggie decided to split up for good. But my brother still has visitation rights to him.
Mm-hmm.
Or she's allowing him to see him once every other 2 weeks or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So my brother ends up meeting this new girl. Call her B.
B.
Woman B.
Okay.
So he meets B, and they hit it off real well, right?
Yeah.
At the same time, Maggie has met somebody else as well. But Maggie decides to get pregnant after knowing this guy for a month. So now she's pregnant with a new kid from one dad. She already has the kid with another dad that is in jail in South Carolina. That's who K-Dog's paternal father is.
Yeah.
And then you got my brother, who's kind of like the third wheel and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So once my brother got B, new girlfriend, Maggie decides to cut my brother off from seeing K-Dog. Just complete. So after 6-7 years of being in this kid's life constantly, this kid calls my brother dad.
Yeah.
Knows exactly who I am, knows who my mom is, knows who all the family members are.
Mm-hmm.
Just cuts him off.
Cuts him off. And
So
she did that by what? By taking, she filed that against him?
No, here's the thing. I mean, if you're not a biological parent, you don't have
rights.
shit for rights.
Yeah.
You don't have anything.
So she just says no, you can't see him anymore.
So not only has she brain fucked my brother into thinking that he was his biological kid for 3 years, then allows him to continue to see him as his father for the next 4 years, and then just whoosh, cuts him off. Can't see him. You know what that does to the fucking kid? Like, let's set aside my brother's feelings for the moment. Like, could you imagine, like, growing up with a father for your first 7 years, and then all of a sudden your mom takes and decides that you can no longer see that person.
Absolutely.
And starts to try to fill your head to make it out so that my brother is this bad person or whatever.
Yeah.
Kid's fucking 6. His brain is a little sponge.
He's on a path, man.
Like, do you have any idea how psychologically you're messing with this kid's brain? You're messing with his future doing this.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Sad.
If you're just truthful with the kid and you explain things to him, kids will eventually understand. Like, you know?
Yeah.
But if you lie to them and you try to hide things from them, because K-Dog's going to find out one day. It may take a decade from now.
Yeah, you'd hope so.
But he's going to find out what the fuck happened with today's social media and all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
And I know he's going to remember it. There's no way he's not going to remember it. He's 6 or 7. He's going to remember something from now.
That's like you said, there's that power of brainwash. You make them believe something.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's telling him, but
it just drives me crazy how you would do that to the kid.
Memories at 7 years old though. Like he obviously remembers Kyle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like
I remember adults from whenever I was a kid.
That, but you would think like if you had a person in your life like that and you turned 18, you're a teenager, you're getting ready to go to college or whatever, you'd be like, what happened to Kyle? Like, I feel like, so.
Yeah.
It's not lost hope, but it sucks, dude. It's freaking awful.
Well, so here's the thing. So
you would think that you could file charges against her for freaking withholding that information.
Well, my brother...
And paying for it and supporting that family for all those years... And she withheld that she had cheated on you and that it could possibly not, like, you're taking away someone's rights at that point to know that.
Well, my brother's obviously not obligated to pay child support because he's not a biological parent.
But he still provided for them for those 3 years before she told him shit.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I hear you on that. But anyway, so now, once Maggie took K-Dog away and decided that my brother couldn't see him anymore, my brother then decided to try to proceed with a court case against her, right? Mm-hmm. So it's been 2 fucking years since that process began. So my brother recently... my brother and his new girlfriend had a kid during this time, right? So I do have a new niece. She's fucking awesome. She was born on May 4th. May the 4th be with her. She's my little Jedi. But I mean, it's not that we're not trying to use this new baby to replace
K-Dog,
right? I mean, my brother did everything he could. He dipped into his freaking retirement. Like he tried to do everything he could to try to gain custody. Some sort of visitation rights for K-Dog.
It's so crazy.
But due to
she fought him.
There's no rights for biological parents. She got married, and the guy that she married adopted K-Dog.
Yeah.
So that threw another wrench into the whole thing.
Right.
What that does is that extends the time it's going to take for that case to proceed and finish out. So that's just more money for the lawyers.
God,
because it just keeps adding up or whatever. So my brother unfortunately decided that he was going to stop continuing the case and just kind of stop and give up on
all
it.
Those lawyer fees and all this shit you got to pay for.
He just could not afford it. He didn't feel like he was going to win.
Yeah.
He said he was at peace with the decision. He says it's the hardest decision he's ever had to make, Yeah. And I believe him. I mean, he spent 2 years trying to get it done, Yeah,
dude. It's just a nightmare, man. Especially at 24, you're so young.
I'm glad I mean, this all happened within the past. I mean, he just decided this,
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but I mean, he had thought he had a kid at 24.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
That's not that old. I mean,
Yeah.
it is compared to like our parents, I guess. But
what kind of bitch do you have to be though? Like how does this serve your kid in the best interest?
it doesn't serve her best
Yeah,
interest.
because she doesn't want to see Kyle, so therefore she thinks,
Yeah,
K Dog shouldn't see him either.
She's obviously not operating.
She wants what she wants.
Yeah, exactly.
Man,
She'll
fuck
have a
that
she'll have,
bitch,
yeah,
man.
exactly.
God.
She's
It drives me so.
but the saving redeeming
Nuts.
grace is that kid will turn 18 one day. Or
Oh,
he'll turn
yeah.
14 one day, or we'll have a mind of his own one day.
I hope
hopefully.
one day he figures out how much of a bitch his fucking mom is.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, part of my language in this segment, but I get very
Hopefully-
heated about this because I'm not gonna see my nephew for 10 years now.
maybe the mom
because
realizes
of this
how much of
freaking
a bitch she
decision.
was being. And has a change of heart.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I really doubt it. Really, as long as I've known her, she's never. I don't know. It's not that she was mean. She just wasn't friendly.
Sure.
You know.
Sure.
Quiet.
You ever dated somebody like that?
Who's not friendly?
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Never.
I have. You never dated somebody and like had that feeling, man, I would just wish like you were. I just wish you were a little different. Like I wish you were more friendly in
a
this
little
area.
different.
Or like, huh?
A little different, maybe, but that's different than
Or
being
just a little
friendly.
nicer. A little nicer.
Oh,
or a more
no. Yeah,
approachable
no.
or sociable or whatever you want to
I've
call it.
always dated girls that have been super nice.
Like social though, you've ever did like a shy girl that like didn't want to talk to like your family or your friends?
No.
No?
Nope.
Yeah. You ever dated a girl that didn't have like a very good family life, so she couldn't accept your good family life?
I think Emily was a little bit that way.
Really?
Yeah. Because I think I know she loves her dad, but her dad's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And then her mom is kind of the opposite end of crazy.
Oh yeah.
They're they're not that bad. They're normal people or whatever. But,
Sure.
And obviously she hasn't always had the greatest relationship with her sister either. So I think she was jealous of the relationship that like me and my mom have.
Yeah.
So I do have a really good relationship with my mom. So I think she was a little jealous of that, but
But heck, she got along with your fam though.
Yeah.
Dude, right?
yeah,
Emily gets along with everybody. Shout out to Emily. You're
Yeah.
pretty cool.
for
You'll
sure.
be hanging out with us soon. You'll be on this podcast.
Yeah, we'll try to
Maybe
get her
you'll
on
be
here.
like, I can't stand you.
I just want to pick her brain about all the places she's been, man.
No shit.
She's
dude.
been
We
fucking
need to
everywhere.
travel. I've never been out of this country. It's
Yeah,
fucking
and
bullshit. I'm
she's
29
been-
years old.
She's been, she's been all over the damn place. So.
It's insane. It's insane.